last week, I went on a rant, right, and I said some things that I need to retract and, I guess, issue a apology. So, and what I was talking about was, we had brought up the issue where MTA was doing a
Campaign.
a campaign for the flight attendants, right? And
In Chicago, I think.
right, yeah, they was doing that and basically backing them up for assaults and all that, giving them special classes and things like that. And the one thing that really got me upset was that how they were on their website, they had a link to a survey where they was asking their employees for their input, right? And so I was like, I mean, you can look at it, you can go last week and see it. I was like, well, why the hell, if it's TWU, then why aren't they doing that for bus operators? Why aren't they doing that for train operators? Why are they not doing that for the members of the local 100? How can they just do that for the flight attendants and not do it for the local? And I was pretty upset about that. But you see, I was actually wrong. If I would have actually did some research before I opened my mouth, then I wouldn't have my foot in it right now, because MTA actually does have a survey out. And not only does MTA have a survey out, we have our next guest, who's part of the coalition, that did an independent survey from the members, for the members. So well, we're going to bring him in right now, Mr. Joseph Campbell.
Yes, bring him in. Got him?
Bring him in, damn it.
I'm pressing.
What's up, everyone?
Get out of my face. Get that. There you go.
What's up, guys? How's everything?
How you doing,
Joe,
Joe?
what's
Campbell?
up?
Wow, we haven't seen you since last year.
Welcome back.
I
Joe.
know.
Yeah, welcome.
I miss you guys.
You too, man. I'm glad to hear you back. You have some very
And
important
still out
information.
there. Still out there.
Still out there.
On your
Still
thing.
kicking.
Fighting the
Joe.
fight.
Still fighting
Joe
the fight.
Campbell, real quick, for those of you who, for some reason, may not know who you are. I mean, we've got a lot of new recruits that have come in to Transit. If you could, real quick, let them know who you are, where you work at, in a nutshell.
Okay, guys. I have a lot of years on a job. I have 1,000,000 years on a job, older than Methuselah. I was division chairman. I was a division officer. I was a shop steward. I was a million things. I taught shop steward classes. I taught leadership classes on the side. I still go strong with activism within TWU, and to this point, I ran for president 3 times. I ran in the top 4 times. So I am like probably more in everybody's face than anybody who isn't elected to any of them. So I still work in the committee in my shop. I enjoy that committee work too. I still like doing the small stuff. Anyway, what we got going on here, I'm really happy that you guys are giving me the opportunity to share it with the members, because it is very, very important. I'd like to, I'll get started whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Well, we have this survey. Well, first of all, if you don't know, our contract is up on May 16th of this year. And I made it clear in shop gates, in social media, on social media, the difficulties that other workers are getting that really put themselves out there, that were casualties of this pandemic, and how their employers are treating them, awful when they're looking for raises or trying to improve their workspaces. Nurses specifically had to go on strike to make their point. And what we have here is our contract coming up, and a perfect opportunity to tell the authority and have our members all share in. We lost roughly, I think the last number I heard was 171 people. That's ghastly. I mean, where I work, we lost 3. I did a shop gate, and there was 3 people that should have been in that shop gate that weren't there. So when the MTA starts, we don't have any money crap. The MTA has never had any money. They're always in a deficit. We'd still be making the same wages since 1940 if we ever went about they don't have any money.
Especially around contract times, they're suddenly are broke.
All of a sudden, right? So now, all that money they got from the government, where did that go? It went nowhere. I know that we were all coming to work. Management was sheltering at home. but now they're going to give themselves raises. The state government, would they give themselves a 30% raise? It's nice when you can vote yourself a raise, isn't it?
Beautiful.
So right.
Sure
So
is,
what my message out there before I get into the specifics of the survey and the committee members, we have probably we must all come together. I mean, there's a lot of opposition to the administration, and rightfully so, but we have to all come together on this one, and not weaponize the contract now, to give the administration the opportunity to act accordingly, to represent us the way we pay them to do. We are the people that pay dues. We pay the bills. We expect them to represent us in the way that we see fit, not the way they see fit. We see fit. If there's a lack of talent down there, they have the opportunity right now to get that talent, and get it to the table. We need leverage. We need mobilization. We're way behind on that. I think it was very inopportune that the president's change right before a contract. I mean, I think that's unprecedented. Mm-hmm. And then the president hangs around. Utano hangs around with Davis to be his assistant. I don't get it. I really don't understand that part.
Yeah, I found that weird also.
Later, right?
Yeah.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look.
To me, it just seems like it's the puppeteer. Just wants to be close to the puppet, The puppet master.
I just found that very odd, but yeah.
Yeah. So
the point.
Right. So what should have happened a while back hasn't happened. The mobilization, the organization hasn't happened. They had this training. But most of the people who were at that training, it looked like when I saw the pictures, have been negotiating contracts for a long time. I mean, that kind of training isn't really necessary. What was necessary is for them to be out on the floor organizing us, setting up, the way we did in the 2000s under the Tucson administration, rallies, protests outside our work locations, things like that. Letting the public know, make them be aware that we sacrificed too. We have a lot of casualties, and it's not just the people that passed away. There's a lot of people with long COVID. There's a lot of people with PTSD. You won't see them come back anymore. They're scared to death. So this was a very hard thing on us, but we came to work and we showed New York, they can rely on us. We weren't doctors, we weren't nurses, we were transportation, and we were just as vital. Mm-hmm. So, getting to this to the survey now. So one of the things that should have happened already was a survey of the membership. And a survey is very important because it makes everybody feel involved. It makes everybody feel like they're part of the game, they're part of the process.
Right.
The survey is not only just about demands, which if you guys pop our survey up, if you have a chance to do a picture with the survey, you'll see that page 1 has information. It is confidential, although we would prefer the email simply because we can send you the results. But this one here has how should the union work? How do the members feel? Get a temperature of what how the members, are we confident in our union? And then page 2 has a comprehensive list of demands and a box for you to write in anything that we're missing, anything you feel, say whatever you want to say. And it's all going to be tallied. It's all going to be confidential. The results will come in real time as we input the data. If you do it electronically, data is automatically inputted. If you do it hard copy and email it to us, you're going to get. We're going to input it. Your data, your choices that you made will be included in the data. So we'll manually input that, and then we're going to share that with the leadership and the membership. The membership's going to see what the results are too, but also the leadership. And I've seen, and I have to give credit to the younger fellas. I'm not going to mention names because I don't know who wants to be named. If they want to come into the comment section and say what's up, because they know that we're doing the show. They could feel free to do that. But the data is going to show that by title, by borough, by a few other categories, demographics, and we'll be able to see who says what, who feels what. You'll see the demographics of age. Not really age, but let's say time on the job, which is almost conducive to age. Some people are older, but you get my drift. And right. So you'll see are the tier 6 guys weighing in because that the most senior tier 6 guy has almost 11 years on the job. So you'll see all that, and then you'll see like what's important to most people. Is it going to be wages? Is it going to be COLA? Is it going to be variable supplement? Is it going to be hazard pay? Is it going to be tier 6 reform? And don't let anybody guys
Discipline.
out there tell you that tier 6, discipline, especially the operating and entry level positions, scheduled positions. There's a lot of discipline. Maintenance, not so much, but in those places, discipline is out of control. It's worse than it's ever been. Management is gearing back up. You know, the departments that came back first before anybody else was sick, abuse, and discipline. They were the first guys to come back online. As the COVID eased
Jesus
down. So
Christ.
So right? So you know where the priorities are. So
Exactly.
all these like pie charts and graphs, because I've seen them. I've seen the preliminary data. The guys share it with me. And I did not mention that it's Committee for Just Contract. And you guys will probably put up, well, I know on the survey, the email is there so they can contact us at any time.
Yeah, right.
Right. So that's the logo. And then like the email is transitworkers2023 at Gmail.
Put that up.
Transit contract 2023 at Gmail.
22,
so we have all this going on. Now this survey is number one. And what does a survey do? Doesn't take the temperature of the members or take their demands, but it also gets people talking. And that's been the most exciting part, because I'm getting messages, I'm getting emails. It's really hard for me to keep up with all the questions and what everybody, they'll ask me, what is a variable supplement? How does that affect me now? How does that affect me when I retire? And I do explain to them that members of NICES have variable supplements, just not us. The cops correction officers, fire department, they get $12,000 a year as retirees from the profit of their pension. How it makes a profit in the stock market, right? We actually contribute a lot. I mean, I'm tier 4. I don't contribute as much as tier 6, but we all contribute, and we're not getting anything back. $12,000 a year to a retiree is a lot, and not only that, but once you hit minimum retirement age, but you don't leave, you bank it. So your 12,000 then becomes 24, then becomes 36, then becomes 48. I mean, in a really bad market situation like 2008, probably wouldn't be any supplement there. But for the most part, you see the market rebounded tremendously. Everybody's getting the variable supplements. Transit workers are left out of that. We've never had that conversation before. I've had it during my past campaigns, but now that it's on the survey, something like that, people are talking about. They say, hey, yeah, you're right. Why not? And I love those conversations. I just love it.
Now, people are talking about it, but what do you think? Let me just ask you real quick. What do you think about this survey that they dropped? I got the flyer for them. That basically, I mean, this came up just a little bit before you guys dropped yours, but I did them both. I did this one, and I already did the Coalition for a Just Contract. But what do you think about this one?
I think it's inadequate, and I'll tell you why. I think, and jokingly, I do call the Union Hall Castle Montague for a reason. It's a castle with a moat around it with alligators in it, and nothing gets in and nothing gets out unless they open that big door. So inside that castle, that's their reality, and they don't understand us. They don't know what we talk about every day in our lunchrooms, our crew rooms, our swing rooms. They don't know how we feel. They don't know what we need. They think they do, or they like to pretend they do, or they'll just go out there and try to get something that they think that we will buy. They could sell it to us to sell a contract. But the meat and potatoes is hardly ever there. I mean, certainly the raises aren't. And, honestly, that the raises and anything to do with money is going to lead the pack in our survey, in any survey. So their survey is not really going to say anything if it says, what's important to you, but only give one choice about what's important to you. Our survey rates what's important to you between 1 and 5. So as long as you answer it honestly how you feel, we get a good gauge on how the members feel. So what would be a good number of surveys to say, this is a good indication, this is a good gauge? We are probably, we could probably hit 1,000. We keep on pressing by the end of the weekend. We have a lot in. I haven't been authorized to give the number. I've been given the number. I know what the number is, and the number is exceeding expectations.
Okay, awesome.
But I would like 3,000 when this is said and done.
But don't you? I mean, 3,000. Even though that is a lot. I mean, compared to
The
um
past.
the total amount of employees, that's percentage wise, that's very little, right? I mean,
No,
we're
you're
talking about
gauging. Think about it like this, and this is not an MTA bus survey. We are revamping this to include MTA bus. We had to get this one done first, but MTA bus one, because they have a different pension, they have different sick rules. So we want to give them an opportunity to weigh in on their thing. Their pension is woefully inadequate, even in tier 6 standard. So we want them to be able to weigh in too. So we'll keep them aside, and we just look at how many transit workers are there, because we didn't even do private lines, we didn't do Liberty. This is subway and buses, right? Without MTA bus, and you're talking about maybe a maximum was like 34,000. So
right,
3,000 would be
exactly.
10%. If you look at any political survey out there, they don't go after 10% of Democrats or 10% of Republicans, or 10% of independents. They do a very minute number, and they say, okay, this is how people feel. They actually do consider 1,000 of a group of millions to be a good
Right. I
gauge,
mean,
just as long as they cover every demographic.
Okay.
right. I mean,
So
honestly,
we'll be
what was
we'll
told
be very tight.
was right. Right. What was told was for every one person represents 100 people, so 1,000 is when somebody writes a letter into a company, and one person represents 100 other people that feels the same way. So I guess you're pretty much on the money when you say you want 1,000 to 3,000. It's like that should cover all of MTA basically. I get it, but I was just thinking in terms of actual people's what actually people want. Then 3,000 is a lot, but like maybe 3,000, the rest of the people ain't feeling what those 3,000 are feeling. But I mean, you can only get so much out of people.
Well, I think out of 3,000, Blunt, out of 3,000, there's gonna be a bunch more that are gonna feel the same way as maybe one
Right,
person in that
right,
3,000
right,
feel.
right,
You
right.
know, I mean,
If
we've talked about that.
you have, I mean, as long as you spread it out among the departments, as long as you have from MOW to TA surface, from car equipment to stations, as long as you have a good amount of people represented, and of course the pie charts do show the departments that are weighing in. Car equipment is second, TA surface is first. So we are, and then we'll see where we need to go, and then we'll go there. So if stations is, because stations is very hard, guys. On social media and stuff like that, that's been very helpful. But actually, one-on-one contact, our members have been at Zariga. They've been, moving around Coney Island. So, members of the committee. So as long as we can get everybody in there a decent percentage, we're going to know how everybody feels. Think about it like this: it's your livelihood that pays for your family. When it comes to that, we're all basically in that boat. We have families, we have obligations. So if you're looking at time off, easier time off, operating titles have a hard time getting time off. If that's your issue, they'll weigh in on that. If in maintenance, that's not really a problem. We don't really have that. So maybe it's money, maybe it's OTO, but everybody is coming in, and when I see the hard copy surveys, people are actually answering right. I mean, yes, wages is number one. Maybe OTO is number three. There's 1 to 5 concern, like a middle of the road concern. So you're going to find 3,000. If we got 3,000 surveys, this is, in my opinion, this is exactly how the members feel. I'm even good with 1,000, but we're going to blow 1,000 away.
Nice. So, all right. So you have the survey. The survey was done from who actually came up with the survey?
Okay. Well, what happened was, and this is when they contacted me, and it was my old friend John Semino from back in the New Directions days. I wasn't a member of New Directions because I thought a few of them were nuts, but you had some pretty good guys like John. So I mean, I was like a supporter, but not a direct member. Anyway, so I know John a lot of years. He contacted me. We grabbed the 2002 survey. That was a widespread. Roger Toussaint would probably know the numbers, or maybe somebody listening, maybe Lloyd does. I saw he was watching, but we surveyed the hell out of the membership, and then those results were brought to the the mass membership meeting in 2002, prior to the contract expiration, and we took that survey and modernized it. There were some things in there we didn't need anymore. For instance, we used COVID to say, would COVID affect our ability to get a good contract? Where in 2002, the question was, does 9/11 affect our ability to get a good contract? Okay, so these were like current disasters that were, that were happening at contract time. And then, of course, the ensuing war after that. We knew the country was going to go to war. So we modernized it. We put it in a tier 6 element, and then the younger fellas that are good with electronics, added the QR, attached it to a real time data collection, whatever you call it, algorithm. So this is so we could see the data full at any minute. If we stop the thing today, we have the results. We're going to share that with the membership and the leadership. And what's also good is that, okay, the leadership will have it, and if they want to use it to their advantage, good, because we don't need this stuff. They need it. We got to give it to them.
Right.
But will you be waiting for a response from the leadership?
The leadership has already had some of their people out there saying that, we're behaving like agents of management trying to sabotage the contract. I saw to the contrary. This is very important. The union didn't do their survey correctly, so we did it for them. That's all. And we're going to share it with them. And if
we
smart,
are the union.
Use the
we are the union. So you're stepping up to do some work.
I should say leadership, right? Because we are the union. It's 100% correct. And so they're going to get this, but also we'll be able to share our data truthfully with the membership. They'll see exactly what the leadership are going to see. So the membership are going to be expecting the leadership to act accordingly. Maybe that's the problem.
And
they're
some
always
response and get some response.
Transparency.
Because was it a couple years ago? We were here doing something in a show to try to pick up demands for the last contract, and I got a nice response, and I went with that to Montague, and I got to meet Serrano for the first time. He was supposed to be taking Willie's spot, and I gave the paper to Willie, and it was in the meeting, and he said, all right, this is all good, we're gonna get back to you with whatever we can, but I never got anything. I never got a response. They know where to find me. I never heard anything about it, about the demands, so I'm wondering, all this work that you guys are doing, I'm hoping it doesn't go into deaf ears. I mean, we're fighting for all this stuff, but I'm hoping that they don't say, okay, we'll get back to you and put it in their back pocket. I'm hoping that you guys are gonna be like, tell us something now. You're reading all this. Give us some information to go on, like what are you planning to do about certain things, not just we'll get back to you. So I'm hoping that's what they'll do.
Well, we're gonna not only, because there's gonna be a comments box so people can say what they want.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a report written. Not just the numbers and pie charts, but observations. They're gonna get all that. The executive board is gonna get all that. The vice presidents are gonna get all that. The leadership, the top, they're all gonna get all that. They cannot deny they got it. And of course, the members are going to know that they got it and what they got and what the data says. Truthfully, it's going to probably be wages. We've been getting eaten alive by contracts that have fallen below the cost of living over the last decade or so. So this is like right now we find ourselves, if you can't work overtime, you drown. This job is, you cannot live with this job if you don't work overtime. Overtime is our survival. We predicted this a long time ago. And now it's come to fruition. And now with this, if we're supposed to go beyond the contract deadline because management says they don't have any money, when are they going to have money? So this is not going to work for us. I don't believe. At some point we're going to have to call the union out. But I strongly recommend anybody that's opposition, any opposition groups, don't attack too forcefully during contract time, simply because the MTA is watching, and we need a united front. Now, if the union doesn't give us, the union doesn't use the help that we're providing, then of course they're going to hear about it. We're not letting them off the hook on that, but we are going to want to be included in this. All your strong unions, guys, they all allow their activists, they all allow their smart members that aren't officers go and do this stuff, because the union is bigger and stronger when it's like that. If you expect the entire 34,000 members of just New York City Transit to sit in the bleachers while we watch the game that you guys are playing in, no. We all want to play in that game. We all want something out of it. We're tired of sitting around waiting, and then one day, boom, an email comes out, you got a contract. And you're like, we won the fight, but there was no fight. We want there to be a fight. We want to be in that fight. The survey here, that's the opening bell.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
And guys, Saturday's meeting.
Well, the one thing you guys got to make sure you do is follow up with your demands. Don't like P said, don't just listen to we'll get back to you.
Yeah, we need some. I mean, you're going through all this work, building this whole thing, this whole survey that But let me just throw it on there so you guys can see when it's at again.
Joe, so
this Saturday.
When the surveys, okay, go ahead. This Saturday, mass membership, doors open at 11, it starts at 1 p.m. Make sure that you are in good standings, people. Go check with your union officer. Make sure your union dues are all paid up. Your address is correct. Everything before this meeting, so they don't give you no reason to turn you around. Get your butts in there. If you're not doing anything, go in there.
And I hear something that they're calling on the big hunches or something to be there like a half hour before the meeting starts. I'm hearing a lot of commotion about like, why would they have them early? They want to set them up, get them ready. You heard about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't care. They're gonna be there. Their doors open at 11. Everybody, they should all be there anyway. They should be walking everybody around. They should be kissing their ass for the dues they're getting. Their salaries are inflation-proof. Ours aren't.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway,
so Joe, let me ask you a question. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, you don't want an empty room because MTA is gonna be watching. When you and I gotta say, man, there's a lot of locations out there that don't have these flyers up. I don't know what the union reps are doing. They're trying to tank this on purpose. There's 10 bulletin boards at Coney Island had no flyers, from what I heard. And so we had to do this. We had to go around our activists and put up these flyers just to let members know that there's a meeting. An empty room looks bad. You got to fill that room.
So we can help that out right now. For those of you guys that are watching the show, and you have a cell phone in your hand, which should be 99.9% of the people watching, and if you don't have the QR code or scanner on your phone, download it now. It's free. Download it now, and then come back, put your phone to the screen, and scan this. Take the survey right now, and Joe and them will have your data immediately. So pause the screen, screenshot this, send it to your peeps, pass it on to the next person to get the survey and get it done. So nobody right now.
It takes no time to get it done. I did it as soon as I saw it. I downloaded it and I did it.
And don't come back and say it don't work, because I scanned it with my phone and it works. It went right to the survey, so it works. So take a screenshot. We'll put it up before the end. We'll put it up again by the end. Take a screenshot. Take the survey. If you know somebody that haven't taken the survey and don't have a hard copy, have the screenshot on your phone. Let them screenshot it from you. Let them scan it from your phone.
Yeah, there's also people that are not on social media. They're not on Facebook or whatever. Yeah. So,
right.
I mean, there's a lot of times I talk to people on the depot. They're like, "Hey, have you heard about what this going on?" No, we don't have social media. So there's still workers that don't know what's going on. Because they're out of the loop.
Robin was talking about this that happened back in Tucson days, where they had the Javits Center full.
That was beautiful.
Employees, and yeah, that was, and it's one thing that I said, that was before social media. So now that we have social media, there's really no reason that nobody should be listening.
It's the division, man. It's the division between, that they don't like this one or they don't like that one. And I forgetting that it's all about the union. So they don't like the leadership. They don't care to go, and that's the problem.
We had these.
This is not the leadership.
We had the Javits so full that we had 2,500 people that couldn't get in, and then we had to do a second meeting right from the lobby where everybody was standing around because it was cold out. And we all stood up on the balcony, and you had to see the sea of people, just the people that could not get in.
It was the way that he spoke too, you know. He was very knowledgeable, so he what do you call it? He demanded respect when he spoke, so everybody listened. You know, there's always a little drama following Tucson whenever he did meetings or whatever. So that brought everything. Yeah, so that attention was there from everyone. And that's what we need now. We need somebody in leadership that's going to be doing that. And then I'm sure that the meetings will all be full, because it's like we want somebody that's going to, I'm not going to say fight, but like just show that leadership back like Tucson.
Gotta have some backbone.
Yeah.
Gotta have some backbone, definitely.
But
right. We have somebody like that. We'll see what the new president does, right?
Oh yeah, but the thing about, right? I mean, everyone says, "Oh, I'm not going on strike." We don't want to go. Nobody wants to go on strike. Strike's not the thing. The threat of a strike is when you organize and mobilize everybody. Management believes that the members would walk out if the union called it. That's what you need. That's all you need. That's the weapon. But you have to get there. There is a long process of mobilizing and organizing. You have to let your activists go. You have to just let everybody shopgate the hell out of everything. You have to stop putting your reps out there that make videos that call everybody who's critical to the leadership agents of management. You know, we're not fucking management. We're exactly the opposite. We don't even talk to management. We talk to each other. We help each other. We ain't got nothing to do with them. The union reps talk to management. We don't. So how could we be like agents of management? That's absolutely absurd. What we are is what every other union has, but where they get more respect. Activists get more respect than other unions, successful unions, right? 32B&J hospitals, their activists get respect. Our activists get dogged. You know, we have to worry about the union bringing us up on charges. Somebody
ridiculous
saying that, oh, I felt intimidated, I was threatened. You felt intimidated, man, because you're a punk. You know, I mean, if I'm coming to you with the truth, you know, and you feel intimidated, that's your problem. You know, go home and, you know, hug your mom. You know, this is men's business here. This is union business here. Even the women. Yeah.
Wow.
There are women out
you heard
there
it here.
tougher than some of the men.
Make a meme out of this.
I walk with them. I walk with women that are tougher than a lot of the men out there. So you gotta, you know,
Joe, you gotta understand that times have changed, you know. So there's a lot of words that are considered now, you know, very offensive. So you gotta tweak your wording now a little bit differently than before. Before you say what you want and get away with it, but now you gotta be, you know, certain words. They might.
I'm in Facebook jail every other day. So.
Triggered, another word. Triggered.
Joe, you stay in Facebook jail, bro. You stay in jail from that. You should know certain words just to trigger people. You know, you gotta be careful what you say.
You got to be tough out there, and I think a lot of respect I got was that. Not that I'm tough, that I'm threatening everybody and all that, but speaking the truth. The truth is tough. A lot of times the truth isn't acceptable, and I don't mean like, you know, other things. I'm just talking about how our situation is on the job. How can we get through the day without getting hurt? How can we like fight management back on safety? You know, how can we get a decent paycheck out of these people for the work we give? And that's tough. You know, that's being tough. That's like everybody says, yeah, man, you know, I want to be tough too. You know, I want to talk to management like that too. A lot of times they'll stand behind you and let you talk the tough talk, and that's fine. Stand behind me as long as when I look back, you're still there. You know, don't put me up there to turn around and you're gone. We all got to stick together. Our greatest ally is ourselves and our numbers. We all got to stick together.
That's facts. Let me ask you a question. When the last time you seen your safety division officer? Look at you, like who?
Oh, he came around. I don't know if he's watching. It was something to do with something. It didn't get resolved, whatever it was. I mean, the thing about it is, safety is to management is nothing more than a poster on the wall. Everywhere you look, be safe. This, that. Go home there.
Right,
They got
right,
cartoons. They got slogans. But if it interrupts production, safety's out the window. And that's really where
That's
our
what I'm
fight
saying,
always is. Just
Right, 'cause
to
I-
just
like-
to set the standard of where safety should be. I mean,
I
that's
mean, I
that's
feel-
basically it.
I feel like
what
the
happens
safety.
is you. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead, Blunt. I'm
No,
sorry.
okay, because I was just saying,
Well,
I just feel like the safety officer needs to be more present in the members' daily activities. I mean, I never hear nobody say, I spoke to the safety officer today. He came by. I never hear nobody say that, and I always wonder, like for each department, who's the safety officer? Why isn't he going around at least visiting, getting questions? Passing out his own survey to find out what's going on, what could be done, at least give, if not even just the impression that he's doing his job. It's not waiting for something to happen, but to have an offensive instead of a defensive role in what he's doing. You know what I mean? But I that's just me.
everything doesn't have to be a safety resolution for him. If you keep up with things,
Exactly.
little by little, you accomplish a lot in the end. The goal's met.
I mean, in our depot, we have someone new. The one we had before, he moved on to something else. We have now a female safety officer, and I see her on the yard walking around more than the previous one.
But has she stopped in trouble?
No, I don't think
not
so.
only does that, not only does it
You know what they're
but it
doing?
raises
They're
the morale.
walking around with this little papers. I don't know if this little
Clipboard or
papers
whatever.
that tell you be careful with this, be careful with that, and they drop them on the seats in the bus.
That's all fine and well, but
You know.
if you're not being one-on-one with your membership, you're doing a disservice. I honestly feel like it would bring up at least the morale for the members to see somebody being proactive in their safety. But that could be just me. You know what I mean?
Well, it is how it is.
A lot of times, safety is common sense.
It should be.
Right, but you shouldn't be retaliated against for exercising your common sense. And
Right,
that's
that's
really where
absolutely
the
true.
union's supposed to back you up.
Okay, so let's get back to this survey. We keep jumping. Pew, pew.
It's a lot to say, a lot to
Survey,
talk
man,
about.
survey. Yeah, the survey is a great thing.
Well, okay,
I got to apologize for what I was saying last week. I was definitely wrong. So we got Joe here correcting me. Okay, hey Joe.
What happened? What was wrong?
Well, last week I just went on a rant about MTA union not having a survey, and you guys are. Matter of fact, when I said it last week, you guys were at least 2-3 weeks already into doing the survey, and I didn't even know
Into
that you
creating
guys had
it.
a
We
survey.
only rolled it out
Right.
a couple of days ago. But it took
Right,
us a
but I
long
was
time to
like,
create it.
why? But I was like, why haven't anybody? Why hasn't the MTA did one for us? And you guys were already working on that issue. So
Well, but you had an
I have-
issue that was legit, which is what they talked about, self-defense.
self-defense
flight
classes that
attendant.
we could do.
And that's
that.
what got
Yeah.
you going, because they're like, wait a minute, they're talking about self-defense for flight attendants. Meanwhile, we're over here, subway workers and,
Getting
and
assaulted.
bus workers, we're getting assaulted.
Getting
We just
assaulted
had
on a
somebody
daily
I
basis.
heard,
Yeah.
was it yesterday, a 70-year-old a transit worker that also got assaulted. So I'm like, wait, why aren't they talking about classes for us? Self-defense
Right.
classes. For us.
Yeah, because it reminded me of the bill that was passed. I have written it down. The bill that was passed to protect the COVID bill to protect the Asian population is like, well, how you coming out with a bill to protect the Asian population when you have Black and Hispanics who's been getting assaulted since this country's founded? You don't have a bill to protect us. Like, what the hell is going on here? So it kind of got me upset about that, and so I kind of went on a rant. But I got to really quick. I got to give a shout out to my homeboy. What up, Jay? What's up, mommy? All right.
What do you think about that, Mr. Campbell? About that thing about them getting classes for self-defense, and it's the TW Local 100 doing this for them. Matter of fact, I got something.
Local
here.
100 or TWU?
TW.
The TW International.
TWU.
Yeah, international doing it for the flight attendants over there.
Yeah, now something else, Blunt. Showing them, I guess they got now a 10-hour rest rule for flight attendants. Been finalized by the FAA.
Okay. Wow.
Well, anyway, I mean, self-defense is
You're gonna get
it's
them.
voluntary, right? I mean, they don't require that they take it. Like I said, I'm not really that.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I don't know if it's voluntary or not, but I mean, they offer it. So they ain't offering us no self-defense class or anything like that.
They're afraid you guys. They're afraid for you guys to defend yourselves. I don't know if it's a liability issue or what. They're
Because
afraid
there's a lot of us that probably,
kick
could
somebody's
defend
ass.
ourselves, but getting the okay, but
Yeah.
that all comes down
It might
to
be
the
too much for
classes.
them.
I mean, that all comes to the classes. We go to Zariga, they tell us certain things. We could do this, could do that. Have a class, or they show us how to defend ourselves from that seating position.
Right. You don't have to. You don't have
Yeah.
to be assaulting them, but just to defend yourself from receiving bodily harm, and how you say holding them down. There's a word for it where you just hold them down, securing them until help can come. You don't have to. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some operators going to take the opportunity to get a couple in, but if the class teaches to,
Like the video from a few years ago, the guy's fighting outside on the bus, and his buddy comes behind, picks the dude up, boom, slams him on the street.
Somebody's gonna,
not to that point.
Somebody's gonna. Oops, I didn't. But if they just.
But hey, not every bus operator is a fighter. And there are
word.
some people that they don't like that confrontation. Right. We do have operators that might be afraid of confrontations. So teach them something, maybe mentally, something to get them set that when something's going on towards them, that they keep their calm, they could stay cool.
And honestly, I feel like the fact that if the public learned that we're getting self-defense classes, that would deter enough of them from actually trying to even approach an operator. Especially like these kids. Like we had to take the video down from our YouTube channel where three teenagers had jumped a bus operator, and if they learn that these operators are taking self-defense class, I'm pretty sure they'll think twice before doing something like that. So it might save some. I would say save lives, but it might save some confrontation. Down the line. But,
so we'll see what happens.
I definitely think they should give it to whoever wants it. That's if you want it.
Yeah, not mandatory, because there's guys that could, they could hold their own, but at least have it there that if somebody wants to go and take that class, they can.
But you should also, it should be considered the root cause of many assaults is the company itself and their policies. So we become like we become the poster children for the bad decisions that are happening at 2 Broadway. So everybody who's wearing a vest is a target. Service is cut. This one loses his job because the train comes late all the time. It's not the train operator conductor's fault. Whatever, how they missed an interval, what went wrong, it's a bad equipment. But we're wearing that vest. So that guy loses a job, comes back and starts a fight with one of us. Or is it the fare went up? Or is it that there are too many mentally ill people on the streets where they should be in hospitals, but they let them out because they don't want to pay for it? So they're wandering the streets where they shouldn't be. They should be getting treatment. There's so many different things, but because you guys, because I work behind a fence, so I don't deal with, and I certainly do not wear a vest outside that fence. I've been there.
Joe be like,
you guys,
you can't get me.
But you guys, you're there with them, and you
right in their
don't
face,
have eyes in the back of your head, right?
Well, we got
every day.
We got mirrors
to somebody.
Facts.
I've been on buses and I've seen bus operators how to deal with people. I would never want that job. You guys will get paid enough. Train operators, you guys get locked up.
Joe will be in a different type of jail, not Facebook jail, right?
But bus operators, I believe that there should always been a cab on the bus, and that's and a left side door. And I thought that that would probably be the best thing for you guys.
We said that a million times.
Yeah.
We said that a million times. Like we need a full cab.
Thing. Yeah.
I mean, it was a joke when they had the 99-cent curtains from what's that store over there on Church Avenue?
Bobby's.
Bobby's, yeah, they had Bobby's 99-cent curtains. What are they doing with
$500 curtains?
Gosh.
And then the ones in the back were $1,000.
No, knowing they got it from Bobby's for 99 cents, but they charged them.
I want to real quick. I want to say thanks to something that I saw on the survey. I think I don't know if Blunt noticed it, but I think there's one person that we could. I'm not gonna mention his name, but I think it's one person that could probably thank for that. Under the changes, do we have the? Can you put it back up there, Blunt? I don't know the questions.
I got it.
It might be up
Which one?
there.
1 or 2?
Put 2. Let me see if it's up there. No, I can't. Nope. I can't read that. No. No. It's the changes. But one of the changes I saw was for the health, for our health insurance, and I saw on there ABA, and that's something that we've been talking about here. That we're in the works of pushing that too with the MTA to get us ABA for children in the spectrum. We have a lot of transit workers that have children in the spectrum. We have a couple of dispatchers that are joining us, a doctor that's joining us. We have our, just throw it up there. Yeah, thanks. We have our, what is it? Our survey.
Petition.
We also have a petition, that we hope everybody could fill out because we are in this too with the ABA. But I saw that on the survey that you guys put out, and I'm happy for that. That's a good thing that it's on there, because we need it.
Yeah, that's comes from the membership. See, we're out there and we know, we live and breathe these.
Yeah, so we have a dispatcher, we have a doctor, we have a few co-workers that want to come forward with that to see if this could be made, because it could be made. It's been proven that it's been fought before in other places and they've gotten it, even though it's expensive. I wanted to mention this whole ABA thing. Supposedly MTA had agreed to it, but what is it? The HR has said no because it said it was too expensive. So, that's what I heard from an inside source at MTA, that the MTA had agreed years ago to put ABA into Aetna into it, but
eventually they're gonna have to cave into that. Eventually, they're gonna have to cave into.
If we keep on going, that's what we got to keep it going.
Yeah, I know you keep on doing, but more and more people are having children born on the spectrum, and a lot of people don't get involved until it affects them personally. So you're gonna get more and more people, and eventually, it's gonna outweigh the people that don't have children on the spectrum, and it's gonna have to be implemented. But if we could get it done before then, so that by the time that happens, they already have it, then that'd be great. Like I said, we could name it the little Mickey bill when it happens.
Even though my son is at a point now that he may not need ABA, thank God, because he's come such a long way, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to keep pushing it, because I know that we have brothers and sisters who have children on the spectrum that actually need it. They're very young and they need it. It's a huge help with this service. But anyway, enough of that. I don't know. I think we're done for now. Yeah. What this Facebook used to say: cost for ABA will offset by employee availability. Yeah. I mean, I found out that ABA services, Campbell, it's, from what I saw, it was like $600 a session. So it's like maybe 45 minutes.
How was that too expensive?
Huh?
How is that too expensive? What are they talking about? It's too expensive. That's nothing. In medical terms,
everything
nothing.
for them is if it comes out of their pocket, it's too expensive.
It's not like this 100% of the membership have children on the spectrum. We found out it might be like 20% of children of of operators and transit workers that have children on the spectrum. Maybe a little more than 20%, but still.
You know how they could pay for it? Get rid of that sick abuse nonsense. Why do I need to go to the doctor if I have 5 unsubstantiated sicknesses? I got to go to a doctor if I have a cold. They sell over-the-counter stuff. We don't need to go to the doctor for that. We got to go to the doctor just to satisfy paperwork, just to satisfy your sick lines. Get rid of that nonsense.
Yeah, that's part of that discipline that I hope you guys can change. It's got to change. It's too much.
That's outrageous. They're our days, they're our sick days. How can you abuse your sick days? It doesn't make any sense. That's almost like an oxymoron. Take the money you'll save from that and put it towards ABA, and we're all good.
Yeah, who knows how much they're paying for
Exactly.
these people that come knocking on our doors to see if we're home.
Oh, yeah, those guys too, right? But
Yeah.
like, for instance, you go to the doctor. It's not like it used to be. You know, when I was younger, and I don't want to age myself, but a checkup was like $35. You went to the doctor, and
Yeah.
it was like $35 to go. Okay, yeah, here's 2 aspirin. Call me in the morning. It's not like that anymore. It's thousands of dollars. I mean, they'll talk about, yeah, they check your. I've gone to doctors where I've seen, like, they said, wow, they really said that they did that. You know, like they checked my cholesterol. But you know, doctors are padding their bills, you know, and we know that to be a
Yep.
fact. I don't have like
Yep.
direct evidence. I don't hear anybody from labor relations, but
Mm-hmm.
they do that, and even the honest ones, they still have to bill a lot of money. So that's thousands of dollars for me to go there so you could fill this thing out that says I got a cold and I should be home tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know, I mean that's
Exactly.
ridiculous. Get rid of that.
Yep.
Or even people that let's say have FMLA, so they know that they have some kind of a sickness.
Yeah, allergies. You can have FMLA for severe allergy, right? The earth. You're allergic to the earth. You know, you don't know when that's coming, but one day you wake up. You know, this trees start pollinating all over the place.
Look, don't laugh. I'm actually allergic to trees.
2 years.
I'm
Where do
allergic
I
to
go?
trees too.
Where do
What
I
you
hide?
Here.
Allergic to trees.
I'm
Where
just
do
saying,
you
he set
hide?
the earth. He set the earth, though. I'm saying.
Just live inside the bus. If I can, in a plastic bubble.
I know you're like this
There
one
you
big
go.
HEPA filter driving down the street. So like we have you know, like people like me who have to take off. I mean, look, I could come to work. You know, I'd be kind of miserable if I take anything that, you know, suppresses the allergy, also suppresses my like ability to like be aware of things. But
You'd be drowsy.
yeah, it'd be like, you know, like spacey and stuff. And like, but at the same time, you know, I'm coughing, and you know, if you cough around people, you got COVID. They don't care
Yeah.
what you got
Exactly.
COVID. Don't cough. You can't cough,
You get that look.
right? You got to walk around like, you know, you have to pretend you're laughing. It's so let me stay home so I don't get all these weird looks from everybody, you know. And that's that, you know. And I'll buy my own cold medicine, and I'm good. I won't go to the doctor. You can put the money towards other stuff that's really needed, orthotics, right? Finally, but you know, we didn't have those for a long time. So these things are always fluid. They're always moving, you know.
Exactly.
We find out different things, you know. We find out what autism is. A long time ago, we didn't even know what it really was, you know.
Facts.
Now there's treatments, and there's and children are doing great. So you know, our company you know has to move with the time.
Exactly. They have to get with the time. They have to get with the time. So if people have questions for the survey, they could reach you. I just had it on the screen. At
Sorry, and I took it off.
Transit Contracts 2023 at gmail.com to ask you questions about the survey if they have a problem with the survey, stuff like that. Even if they don't have the QR code scanner to write the email and get ask for a hard copy.
Yeah,
Or if
and
you
then
know where
take a
Joe's
picture
at.
of the hard copy and send it back.
Right.
You know, that's it. Just fill out the thing, take a picture of it, put it in the email, send it back.
If you
We're all
guys
gonna,
have,
you know, a whole bunch of us are working on it.
right, if you guys have already downloaded the QR code on your phone, like I asked you to earlier, here it is again. Let me just move this banner out the way. Sorry.
Yeah.
Here we go. Take a screenshot of the QR code. You can actually scan it right now and fill out the
No
survey.
excuses.
So they
No
get it directly.
excuses.
Screenshot it,
Take a
pass it on to
snapshot.
your friends. Yes, pass it on to your friends, and let's get as much people as we can to fill out this survey, so you guys can get a better contract this coming contract
May?
negotiation time.
Yeah, negotiation time.
May. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the save.
Yeah. And remember again, the membership this Saturday. Anybody that could make it.
Come
And,
out. I
I
don't want an empty room.
Please go.
And I want to thank Mr. Joseph Campbell for joining us again. It's been a while. You know, the door's always open. Anytime you want to come in, just either one of us hit us up. Say, listen, I want to come in. I want to talk about this and this and this. And the doors are open for you. All right. Always make room for you, Mr. Campbell.
I got some questions for that dude with the wig.
From Blunts
Mr. Bluntaramas?
Bluntaramas, yeah. I got a couple
Blunts
questions for him.
Yeah, the real Brooklyn Pete at Gmail, so he doesn't see the questions. All right, if you have any. So, guys, again, thanks for joining us. Share this. Remember to follow us on our YouTube channel. Again, Mr. Campbell, we've been only going live on YouTube. When we have guests like you, we just go everywhere on Facebook and we share out. So you're able to share this too, wherever pages you want to. Let them know you was here, and they could hear anything else you had to say that they have maybe missed from another show. You say it here. And I think that's it for today.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Everybody on the committee, the coalition for Just Contracts appreciates the time. And guys, this survey does you no good unless you fill it out. Thanks, fellas.
That's right.
It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure
All
to
right,
be here.
Joe.
Till next time, guys.
Take care. Have a good night.